Green forever.
And does that play in at all, getting this real-time data in? How does that play in at all with the notion of doing preventative or predictive policing?
The evolution of policing in the 40 years I can speak to it has been a phenomenal time, much the same as the world that you're all so heavily engaged in, the world of technology and communications and internet. I came into the business in 1970 when state-of-the-art was basically a 3-pound walkie-talkie that you didn't even want to walk around with because it weighed so damn much. We had the professional era of policing, emphasis on responding to crime, because it was not believed that the police could do much about preventing crime, because it was believed that crime was caused by that list you had there, the economy, demographics, unemployment. And the emphasis was, you, the police, you improve your response time. We created 911. We developed better radio systems. We started computerizing the 911 system for the processing of calls. Then, after crime went up for 30 straight years in 1990, we had the worst crime year ever. We adopted, as an evolution of policing, the community policing model, which emphasis was on partnership, problem solving, but most importantly, prevention. That we measured our success on the prevention of crime. And then post 9/11, we moved into the next era, which was the information intelligence era. Very similar to what we were doing in the 90s with CompStat. We gathered a lot of information and made intelligence out of it. What were the failings leading up to 9/11? Federal government had a lot of information and a lot of different databases and a lot of different organizations, but they were not sharing it. So the intelligence they were creating was not useful because they weren't connecting the dots. So post 9/11, both the federal government and increasingly local policing are into now the intelligence era of policing, which is an expansion on the CompStat model. The other era that is developing now is predictive policing. Prior to leaving the LAPD, on a model that was created here in New York, which we emulated in LA, in which the federal government is now funding research into, the idea of taking real-time crime information. A police officer out in his car puts it into his computer as he gets it from the victim. And it instantly is into headquarters, detectives at headquarters starting to analyze it before detectives even respond to the scene, starting to collate information in all the different databases. The ability over time, and I would predict in the next 5 to 10 years, that predictive policing, that we'll be in a position with the information that creates the intelligence that will be available to us, that we will be like a doctor, working with increasing diagnostic skills of the various machines they get to work with, the tests they get to do, that is the next era. And isn't in fact that's the era that we want our national intelligence services to be very much engaged in, so they can prevent the next terrorist attack instead of responding to it after the fact.